And look, I can move.
That was Phil, wasn't it? Oh, hello.
There we are. Get the book more in.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Bit of product placement, which is better than I still can't work out which way I have to lean. That way. But we are live. Coming live.
Wow,
yeah,
are
we were
we?
just reminiscing there for anyone that tuned in just as we were talking about going live. Love that programme. For people of a certain age, the way, Steve.
It was brilliant. I was always gutted when I get dragged down Tesco's instead of being able to watch Philip Schofield and Sarah Green and Gordon the Gopher, Trevor and Simon.
Green. Yeah.
Happy
days.
days.
Those are the days, eh?
Happy days. Look at that. Look at that.
At that there. It looks tiny because your light's so big that you're being freelance for. It makes it look like
okay, one moment.
But it's really not tiny. It's fat.
Action shot.
Is
that better for? Is that what you prefer?
Yes.
We'll spin our chat like this
there the whole time. Everyone else is doing much better at this than I am. Like they getting it up as the.
It's always my favourite bit, like the when we do the Being Freelance book club, when we take a screen grab at the end and everyone. Because I actually read books on a Kindle, but for the Being Freelance book club, I always say you know you're going to be in fine company. Saw Sarah Townsend, her book's up there. Saw you chatting to her earlier. So I started buying the actual books because you get to point
I find it easier
on webcams.
Well, yeah, there is that as well.
They look better on Instagram, and you've gone to such trouble. It would be a shame not to.
I know, and you were my first order.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
I saw that.
Very
you wrote a little note in my book. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I remember this time last year when you started to talk about it. We were doing like the Cookie Collective. And like to see like it actually be in my head, like I don't know, I think it's really cool. Hats off.
No, because I remember I was like trying to, if I said it out loud, I then had to do it. I couldn't chicken out. So I remember saying in the group, like, I'm writing a book. Like, all right.
That is
part for this, Helen.
Part of the battle with anything, right?
Yeah.
And you'd come back and tell us about it, and sure enough, here you are. No, I see that, and I see that with like Ian Paget over at Logo Geek community and podcast. He's writing a book, and I would see on Facebook that he'd like every week he'd write this little account. Like he was using Facebook to keep himself accountable, like doing his word count on there. So everybody has their own little ways, but I think saying it out loud is the start. So well done. Thanks for inviting me.
Here as well. So Bavini was in the Cookie Collective.
Oh, you see, and we know what Bavini was working on. We can't mention it because what happens in Cookie Collective stays in Cookie Collective. But very exciting when her stage show starts.
Yeah, very much so.
Song
and Reels up later.
Oh my God, Neil was talking about doing our animation course, and now a year later he's winning awards with the video he made. Not that it's anything to do with like me and the Cookie Collective, but
you do get mentioned in that video because that one is pre-recorded. But nice. On holiday today. He's gone on holiday instead of being here.
Who, Neil?
Yeah, in Cyprus.
Well, Sophie was on holiday. She still made the effort, right?
Yeah. In the camp. Well, she tried, bless her. She tried. The wife.
Well, I think hats off to you because this is like if Philip Schofield and Sarah Green ran the whole show themselves, but you're doing it. And I know how tricky it is to do these live things. So good for you.
To be fair, I feel like I'm in the broom cupboard.
I really do. I've just filled. Since I've got my own little office now, I've filled it, and I do feel there's a broom cupboard-esque feeling to having. If any listeners of the Being Freelance podcast want to start sending me their own pictures, that's the sort of thing they used to have, wasn't it?
Yeah,
little picture gallery on the wall.
The cards for the kids and stuff. Yeah.
Anyway. So what are we chatting about, Helen?
Oh, well, I was going to say I've not actually introduced you yet, so people will be tuned in, going, "What are they on about?" Going live.
So they're thinking flipping heck. Sarah Green has let her hair go.
It's not. No. Well, I've written an intro for everyone today, and I don't think I've used a single one yet because we just end up getting on and just chatting. Right? And questions, they've gone out the window. Who cares? Who cares?
Good.
But we've got you here today. For anyone that doesn't know Steve, which to be honest, I bet they all do. The squatter in the car park of dreams is what I've called you. Provider of ceramic trophies.
Yeah.
The leader of the non-mastermind mastermind, because it's not mastermind, but it is.
No, but yeah.
And the bringer of a book club and all sorts. So the big chief of Being Freelance and doing it for the kids. Amazing.
Whoa, well, no, you can't call me the big chief for doing it for the kids. Because that is Frankie Totora.
Well, yeah, she's queen.
She very kindly invited me to be part of her podcast. And for which we won this award.
I know.
So without her, I wouldn't have become award winning. So I'm grateful.
No, Frankie's the queen of that one.
She lets me hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still a semi-chief then, but the chief of the car park.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I think so. So what have we got on here? Squatter of the car park. I think that's your new like.
I mean, squatter in the car park, like with no reference. That just makes, I don't know. It even makes it sound like I have nowhere to live, or that I regularly can't get to a toilet in time, and so just go to any random car park.
Squatted over the cameras.
Well, I have to. Yeah, I do have to bend down. Yes, with unfortunate.
So for those that need some context, there, this is
probably a good idea.
Week award, NEOTW, of which I was recipient number 50, and obviously the gravitas of the awards then raised.
Well, right.
Well, this one after lockdown.
Yeah.
So Steve chooses someone each week to win the ceramic trophy, the mug. In fact, I've had my coffee out of mine this morning, so there we go.
Nice. Yeah. Get that. Various other goodies. Your choice of biscuits. But I do it from the car park of dreams because I needed somewhere to do it from. I work at a co-work space. And the first time I did it was weirdly where I am now. This used to be a totally empty office. And they've since turned it into an extra bit of the co-working space. And so I just did it on Twitter for a laugh one week before the Being Freelance community on Facebook existed. And I sort of awarded the prize to Gareth Hancock of that content shed. And then Reed thought, there should be some sort of celebration, but it was just me. So I ran around this whole empty office. And then the following week, they'd locked the office. Presumably word had got around that I'd been in there, this empty office. So, just as I was about to go live, I went to open the door and it was locked. So I had to go out into the car park. And I've been in the car park ever since.
Come rain, wind, snow. Always there, aren't you?
Yeah, even, they can lock down pretty much anything, but that car park is still going to be there. So it's always in the car park of dreams, apart from once actually we did it outside Freelance Heroes Day in the car park in where was that?
In
Wolverhampton?
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, we did it in a car park. A group of us did the little thing from there instead. But
amazing.
Fridays, 11 a.m.
Yes, tune in because it's amusing. I must say, you do make me laugh. It's brilliant. But I love the comments that come up from everybody are great. Really nice kind of little thing you've got going on. So Catherine's asking, what do your co-workers make of NEOTW at your co-work space?
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? So most of them just don't ask. Quite a lot of them accidentally walk past when I'm doing it. It's weird that not many of them ask, isn't it? In so many ways. But I do remember one time I didn't do it on a particular Friday. I can't remember why. Actually, no, maybe it was Freelance Heroes Day and I didn't want to clash with them or something. So I didn't do it. And then this guy came up to me in the kitchen while I was making a tea and he said, there was no running around the car park today. How am I supposed to know it's Friday if you're not running around the car park? And we've never even spoken, me and this man, before. No. But apparently it is noticed. isn't it?
I think, as Praveen says, it's highlight of the week. It really is. It's great.
Well,
And it's
come
a nice
on.
little pick me
Milton
up, 'cause-
Keynes has more highlights than that, Davini. You got the little mini robots driving around delivering shopping for a start.
Oh, all right, okay.
No, that's very kind of you. No, I love the fact that people join live and join it, because that makes it far more like on the weeks where the technology doesn't work and the comments don't come in, it feels a bit weird to suddenly be squatting in the car park doing it.
Yeah.
But it is lovely. People seem to like it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's because obviously there's all these awards you can go for and blah 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 in the whole freelance world and that. But it's nice to have.
I know, you've won most of them.
I haven't. I've not won any yet. I'm shortlisted. But I know who's going to beat me to it on Thursday.
Oh, that's not the attitude, is it?
Oh no, but I'd love it if she did.
Oh,
right. I'm
isn't that
rooting
nice?
for her, so that's all right.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. But yeah, Catherine's saying, I bet they all secretly watch you on the phones. I bet there's a lot of conversation about it when you're not in the room. But then,
he's left again. I think that's probably why they've eventually given me my own office in the hope that maybe I'd stop doing it and I'd start doing it from in here.
Yeah.
That and the fact that I tend to eat egg sandwiches, and I think they all got sick of the smell, so they created me like an airtight room.
No, I'd have to kick you out for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was once making my lunch to take to work, or to the co-work space. My daughter, I think she was only like 6 or so at the time, looked at me and went, "Egg?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "Don't you want to have any friends?"
She's got a point.
Got a very good point.
Good girl.
This
Good
is
girl.
it now.
Yeah.
Hey, got me a private office.
Yeah, well, there is that. So, what prompted you to set up Being Freelance as a community then? If you started off with these awards, which I didn't realise it came that way around actually.
Well, it started as the podcast 6.5 years ago, something like that. And then I always mulled over the idea of doing a community, but other communities already existed.
Yeah.
Also, it seemed like a lot of work, and it is. And actually running a podcast in itself is already a lot of work alongside, a freelance business and family and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, I blatantly just put it off for as long as possible. But actually, it's been the best thing ever, because I was having conversations with listeners from around the world, but now they can actually talk to each other rather than just me. So I'm so pleased I did it. The Non-Employed Week Awards started maybe a couple of months before, just through chatting on Twitter. And I think Gareth was complaining about, those awards where you end up paying to get the award, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, that's it. We need our own awards. And so, the most prestigious of awards was born the following week.
Absolutely. And what week? You must be nearly at 100 or something. Well, no. How many have you done now? If I was 50.
I think about 77. But you see, there was this whole chunk of lockdown where I was banished from, like, the government edict was strictly no running around car parks cheering. So
certainly not. Can't send someone a mug or some biscuits you've touched.
No, exactly. So it was, but mugs and biscuits have been sent all over the world. Jasmine in America won last week or week before last. So they're on their way. They've been to Trinidad and Tobago, to Brazil, to Canada, to Australia.
And that was me getting excited because I've posted 3 books abroad and you're there sending mugs around the world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't recommend it, by the way, as a business choice. It's flipping 30 quid to send 30 quid. It's a mug and a packet of biscuits.
Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy.
But it's fun.
But you're carrying on. You're soldiering on, eh? So that's what matters.
Right.
So, I mean, there's one thing that I notice as well is, like, there's a lot of creatives in your communities. Was that intentional, or is it just that creatives are as crazy as you and drawn to you?
It wasn't intentional, but the podcast, I chose to speak to mainly creatives, so maybe it's a knock-on effect of that. So that was intentional. But there's so, like, I don't speak to, I don't know, freelance architects or freelance I don't know, accountants, for example, but they are in the group. Like it's
Yeah.
not like you can't join the group. So there's
Not
lots of
exclusive, just
so it just goes to show that whole feeling of being freelance is more universal. But I tend to just chat to creatives for the podcast itself.
Yes, of course, that makes sense. I see where you go. Yeah, and look at that lovely comment from Charles. My NEOTW is the most prized possession. It genuinely means the world to me that I've won it. See,
I love, and the thing is, right? Doesn't Charles deserve to win it? Don't you deserve to win it? That's what I love about Non-Employee of the Week is like I see all of these freelancers doing amazing things with their businesses and with also the way they act and sort of embrace freelance life and the community and sort of like helping and supporting other people. And so, it feels right to support it. Someone should be, or, to champion it. Like someone should be doing that. And so because we don't have a boss to give us like a star for our badge on our chest, I created them. Yeah.
Oh, and no cheerleading routine yet, though. That's quite disappointing.
Not yet, but Charles and I are working on it in our pom-poms. We're trying to do the tower, but we need. I mean, maybe you could join us. We need the pyramid doesn't quite work when there's only two of you. Well, it looks like you're just trying to change a light bulb.
Well, I've got one that needs doing, to be fair. Coming out. So what is, and this is the most pressing question of all, so prepare yourself for this, but what is the deal with the biscuits? What's the love of the biscuits about?
Well, I have shares in obesity drugs, and basically the only way I'm going to be able to cash in and retire is if people put on a lot of weight. No,
job done. Thank you.
True. No, I mean, I've always had a penchant for a packet of biscuits, and actually, for that matter, like I used to work in radio. I even persuaded a bakery to create a gingerbread version of me. They were like gingerbread DJs that you could buy for charity at this string of this whole chain of bakers. Amazing. So the obsession goes back a long time. But I think it's that thing, isn't it, where you sort of, I don't know, it's a bad habit really, but I just feel like I deserve a treat. I feel like it can eat them in twos. Right. I love freelancing, but it is hard sometimes just getting through the day when you're by yourself. And one of the things that helps me is a packet of biscuits or more.
Biscuit therapy.
I mean, I even ended up with the biscuit tins, like the
Being
Freelance biscuit tins. Yeah,
mine got knocked by the bun.
So it's just a bit of fun, and it doesn't, frankly, even translate well outside of the UK. We seem obsessed more with biscuits. Some countries don't even cook, like to them biscuits are scones, and also like Americans don't get. We have a lot of Americans listen to
Americans eat Reese's Pieces. I mean, come on.
But to them it's cookies. So, if we've learnt enough Americanisms along the way, I think it's time that they pick up on what a beautiful biscuit is. And and now because of Brexit, we need all the trade deals we can get, and if the biggest one is McVitie's flogging their stuff to the States, I think we've done them a favour.
Good point. Which is your pinnacle biscuit then? Which is the the one on the pedestal?
I do love, with a cup of tea, a dark chocolate digestive.
Yes.
Sounds like I'm eating one. Or a milk chocolate hobnob. Or the Fox's Crunch Cream. Those can't go wrong. But they are very Moorish. They're like Pringles, aren't they? Luxury Pringles of the biscuit world. You sort of open a packet and they just disappear.
I feel quite sick. Yeah,
I love that. The ability for if you're a little bit bored and there's no one around, but you can just sort of prise the top off with your teeth and then let the cream out. Although my daughter did that once with an Oreo. And then sandwiched it back together with toothpaste and tried to get me, like, she offered me an Oreo thinking that, it's a genius evil plan. The only reason I sussed it is because she offered me a cookie and why would she do that? So I was like, why are you being nice to me? Yeah.
So Robin gets it and she's an Aussie. But her
there you go.
I mean, what do you do if your country don't get it?
Do you know,
Where does
though,
the biscuit therapy come in?
we did a non-employee of the week live in France once. That was our European little trip, and I ran around like a French square. It looked so French as well. You couldn't have made it better. And I had to go to a hypermarché before we did the awards, and a lot of the biscuits were like, they would call them like British biscuits and things like they.
Oh, right.
And yet, when I looked at them, you couldn't necessarily get them over here. There was a version of like the hobnob sandwiched together with cream and things that it claimed was British, but I've never seen it.
No.
So,
But,
yeah,
I mean,
what, when?
Yeah. No.
It was somewhere near Toulouse. It was near Toulouse, is where it was.
Oh, well, she needs to get over there. The Bavini raises a good point.
Chocolate biscoffs. No, they're good. They're good with a coffee, right? Biscoffs are better with a coffee than a cup of tea.
Yeah, especially like a cappuccino or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone totally off tangent here.
Sorry, go on. Ask me a proper question.
Well, to be fair, it's a different chat to what we've been talking about all day for a change, isn't it? So who needs to know about a book? No. We're talking vital biscuits here. Oh, so...
Tell you what, a Biscoff would make a lovely bookmark, because that's the thing with a hobnob. Chocolate hobnob's going to leave a mark, but a Biscoff, perfectly placed.
Yeah, probably could actually. And if you get the little individual wrapped ones in twos, always you're trying it.
Hang on. You see? To prove a point. There you go, everyone. See? How good is that?
No, if that does leave a mark, you'd be like,
you can't do that with any biscuit. That's your Lotus. I mean, maybe I know some people will say a nice biscuit, the nice biscuit, but that would leave sugar in your book, so you don't really want that. Malted milk, perhaps, that might be quite nice, but might leave an imprint of a cow if you leave it on the back shelf of a car. So you've got to be careful with your biscuity bookmarks, is my advice.
There's so many different trials that you have to consider here, isn't there?
Yeah. I'm so glad I considered all the questions you sent me.
I know.
So that I could do that.
I think
crumbs
we
everywhere.
Certainly need to send some biscuits to Robin though, because she sounds like she needs some. So
sorry, Robin.
I know. SOS for biscuits. So hang on, what's that one? Prince chocolate. Oh yes, sandwich biscuits.
Oh yes. They remind me of French holidays.
Yeah.
In like hypermarché, because Prince is but it's that very particular French biscuit, isn't it? French shop with the chocolate in between, and you're right.
Because you always get them on holiday as well. They're always that little bit soft and soggy, and it's really nice. You don't want them out in the fridge. Yeah.
No, that's right. I do like
good call. Good call on them. Oh, she's okay. She's surviving, Robin. So to be honest, I didn't come up with many questions for you, did I? Because I knew we'd be talking whatever. But what's next for you and being freelance then? I mean, one thing I love about being freelance, as in being freelance, is that I never quite know. And I think that sort of reflects into being freelance, the podcasting community and stuff. Did you make that glow then?
What?
Your light, it flashed almost as you pointed at it.
It flashed, it knew. It just knew. No, I think it was the camera focusing on it badly.
Oh, right, okay.
That
was very good.
Yeah, well, like at the start of this year, when we were in lockdown, I created a course for new freelancers. And actually, I really enjoyed doing that. It was a bit of an arse. It's quite hard work, isn't it, creating a course? Especially because it was so big as well. It was so massive.
Yeah.
But because it covers everything, but you kind of need to know. Like people could say you should start with a small course, and I properly didn't. But I enjoyed the process, and so I quite like to do maybe another one of those, something along those lines. And also trying to redo the Cookie Collective that we did, like our mastermind that isn't a mastermind. So we ran it this time last year. So if anybody fancies joining the mastermind that isn't a mastermind, then drop me an email, steve@beingfreelance.com, because we're going to do that. I realized during lockdown, when was like last year's lockdown, like the original, the OG, I realized how much doing stuff like being freelance and doing it for the doing it for the kids podcast. Doing it for the...
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, I realized how much energy it gives me, which sounds a bit wanky,
Yeah.
but despite the fact that it takes lots of time, it would actually make me feel good, make me feel
Yeah.
better. Like, I love the buzz and the feel that I get from doing stuff with all the BFFs in the community.
Yeah.
So I want to do more of those kind of things. So I'm the mastermind that isn't a mastermind, a cookie collective, and also maybe perhaps more course type stuff. Since I'm now giving money to Teachable each month, I might as well make the most of it. Hey,
I need to move mine off my WordPress site because it's just slowing it down. I'm trying to move it to Thinkific, and I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna have to part with money again.
Yeah, I decided to cough up and pay for Teachable because it is such a good user experience for those taking the course. But obviously, you as the creator are paying every month, right, to create it, which means you have to kind of like, in theory, keep getting people to sign up to the course, which obviously takes more. It's a bit like you'll be plugging this book forever now, right? Sarah with her book. Like, it's such a lot of, but creating it is one thing, and then you've got to keep people thinking about it and spreading the word. And so that's the bit I struggle with most, like telling people that it exists.
Writing the book was definitely the easy part.
Right.
The PR and the editing process then was a whole nother level, and then the PR has been almost a full-time job for about 8 weeks, but but it was worth it.
Good.
So
good.
Happy with it. It's got
that's a danger, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've lost
really
my page, but gained a pound.
Yeah, I just sent you a bookmark if you want it. You can have, or post it, or whatever. No, I think it's true what you said about your energy. It always comes across in all the stuff that you do. Oh, there we go. There's a question from Charles. Yeah, if anyone does have any questions, do fire them on. When are you going to start writing your book, Steve? No pressure.
Well, it's similar, isn't it, to I didn't start a community for so long because there were so many other communities. There's so many other books, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it's an interesting point, Charles.
Oh.
Yeah. No, one thing I really liked about creating the course, so it's called How to Get Started Being Freelance, is that it's not just my experience, it's the experience of like over 200 guests of the podcast and those that I hang out with in the community. And so I think that might be what would make a book be different were I to do a book. Like, I would like to fill it with stories from the podcast. But and I could do a blatant lazy job like Tim Ferriss does. Gee, that guy makes a fortune by just publishing transcripts of his book. Like, they're not even well edited. They're just put out there and people lap it up. And that's fair play to him. But I feel like I would I feel like I want to give it more of a narrative if I was to do it. And this is why I never do it.
It is.
There's a reason he manages to publish books and I don't.
Yeah, because I bet he doesn't do it himself either, with them just being transcripts and stuff.
Right, you can tell he doesn't.
Otter.io's doing that for him.
Yeah. So I would love to, but
well, there's a new angle, Catherine. What about Being Freelance, the movie?
Well, I mean, it's the trouble is there's only one person who could really play me, and that would be Hugh Jackman, and he's very busy.
I approve.
Right. I mean, we're all thinking it's the obvious choice.
No, yeah.
So he and I are still in talks. The trouble, he wanted to do it for a long time, but then he kept playing Wolverine, and he said all the biscuits would play havoc with his regime of getting him in the character of Wolverine again. So I was going to say, now Daniel Craig's retired from Bond, maybe he might be up for more biscuits. But he's so dull, isn't he? I like him, but really let's stick with Hugh. Because he's got the song and dance element.
I even mentioned Hugh in the book, actually. My love.
Do you?
Yeah.
One man, one car park, one packet of hot knobs too many. Being Freelance movie. Yeah, there is, because I did the Being Freelance vlog where every week I would document my freelance journey. And I loved doing that. But then I started doing it for the kids podcast for freelance parents, and found I simply didn't have enough time to do both. But I'd quite like to get back into doing the vlog, but it takes a lot of time.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like doing live stuff like this I'm not saying it's easy, Helen. I know it's not. But you do it and it goes out there, right? Whereas if you're editing something, you can mull over it for ages and ages and ages.
Oh, me and Sally have just started our Be the Future podcast, and we've only recorded 3 so far, plus our intro thing, and it's incredible the amount of time of preparing the stuff and getting used to the tech. We need to edit it yet, and she's in the middle of moving back to Australia, and it's all just like,
yeah,
we picked the right time to do this.
I like the fact that one of the questions you were going to ask me on my list, not the same that we planned this, was like, how do I fit it all in? But I feel like I should ask you that. You do so much.
I've not seen that. I've not got that on my list here.
Oh, right.
That one. Well, yeah, I don't know. People keep asking me that, and I'm like, insomnia is my only answer. Develop a lifelong insomnia habit, and you get more done.
Right. Well, yeah, there's something in that, isn't there?
I don't recommend it, but
No.
And to be fair, Sally's been amazing with that, and she's really, especially this last 2 weeks, just like organising everything, and I'm just like turning up when I need to. And then,
do you know what? Good lesson in there, though, right? Is that the whole collaboration with somebody can make a project happen. Like, so when you do it by yourself, it's much harder to sort of put it out there. And so like when you were creating your book, the fact that you joined a group or had editor or mentor who doesn't like to call herself a mentor, I was watching that earlier, like not a coach, wasn't it? Doesn't like to call herself a coach. But you that's that sort of collaboration, that accountability that helps move you forward, which is a bit like we had in the Cookie Collective, like when you're brainstorming, you're not alone, you've got people and it helps you move forward. And so like when we did Doing It for the Kids podcast, one of the reasons we managed to keep it going every week during lockdown, even though it was so hard, was because we both had each other. Otherwise we would have just binned it off, I think. So Frankie and I sort of like helping like limp ourselves forward.
Yeah, and it's incredible where ideas come from when you're talking. So like me and Sally have a call every Friday, and we get so giddy, and all this stuff suddenly comes out that we're just through talking something through, and then, why don't we do this? And why do we? And then something just seems to, it must have just been ticking away in your head, but you couldn't get to it until you actually talk about it.
Yeah.
We just like keep saying, we're going to have to rein ourselves in a bit. We'll get the podcast will be coming soon, and
how exciting.
Book, and
another book.
Yeah, a kiddies one. Yeah, she's done an amazing job of writing a book, so I'm illustrating it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's brilliant what she's done. So that's all coming soon. That's the next step. I need to step up my game a little bit for her, and get cracking now that this one's out in the world.
Yeah, hats off to you.
Yes. Maybe I need to draw some biscuits in that one for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Actually, I have got quite a lot of. Yeah.
Oh, Steve.
It has left a bit of grease, actually, just in case you're wondering. I'm happy to vote.
It was in a wrapper.
It tastes all right.
All the ink now off the page.
Yeah.
I don't reckon. Yeah, it was in a wrapper as well. You could have left it in the wrapper, you see, Steve. That would have been the,
But then it would sort of crinkle. Also, it means that it encourages you to go back and read it, because that way you get to eat a bit of biscuit before, replacing it with another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jonathan have got a secret project on the go as well.
I'm rewriting that other book, you see. Oh my God. You do so much. But hats off to you.
Secret one. But that's going to be a really fun one. Yeah. So, yeah. But, well, you fit a load in as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, though, but I find if you treat it a bit like a client, so you treat whatever it is that you want to do a bit like a client.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that could be like, I want to actually focus on my fitness so that I don't have to hire Hugh Jackman. But it can also be your podcast or your course or whatever. If you treat it like a client, then you give yourself deadlines and you don't give yourself that reason to not do it. I think that's
and I have to set myself deadlines. Like I'm saying with Erin in a clubhouse at lunch, that I set myself the deadline of today to publish the book. Well, actually, it was last week, but obviously with the year I've had, it got pushed back by a week, which wasn't bad in the scheme of things.
No.
But yeah, I have to kind of have that end goal as well. Otherwise, you just put stuff off and I'll do it next week. And yeah, that's what I've been saying to Sally. Like, which admittedly I did say I'd have 4 of the layouts by the end of September, but timing with this was a bit impossible. So maybe it will be at some point this month. But yeah, I think you've got to kind of get in that mentality sometimes. But it's also if it's stuff that you enjoy doing and it's fun, then I do it in my downtime.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. If you enjoy it as well, then you want to do it. Yeah.
Right then, Mr. Steve, I better love you and leave you because now I've got the other chief, Mr. Ed.
Well, it's been nice being his warm-up act. Enjoy. He'll be much better dressed than I am. So, you know.
I don't. Well, I feel bad in a t-shirt all day, but it is branded. So
branded t-shirt. Right. Don't feel bad about that. Yeah. I think it's awesome. Anyway, well, thank you very much for having me. Lovely. Thanks so much for joining us live, everyone.
Yeah.
And
nice and
go get your
copy.
Your copy.
Get it now, and I
Falling
can
Off the
post
Ladder.
it tonight.
I love this, by the way. Brilliant.
It's fab, isn't it?
Good for you.
She did an amazing job of it. She really did.
Yeah. Love it.
So glad. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Steve. Yeah, you go and eat your biscuit. Have a run around your car park. Yeah, maybe don't dip it in your brew right now.
I'm going to lose my page now. You still here?
I'm still here. I'll sign everyone off. Bye.
Bye, everyone.